The reason I started this band was because I love music, and above all else, I love the music that I could write. And when I joined the band, I thought, right, well, you know, there's the car. I just got to get in it and drive it about for a bit. Our lyrics, I mean, they do mean so much to people. I know they do, but I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why supersonic means something to people. It means nothing to me, you know. But I mean, it's all there for the listener, you know, and that's what it's all about. It's not about us; it's about them. You know, it's what they get from it that matters, not us. I mean, because we can get, you know, we get to buy nice clothes and we go and travel the world and all that. And what do they get? You know, they get the music. So it's what we can give to them. You know, signed everybody's autograph yesterday for 2.5 hours. I mean, we stayed, you know, an hour and a half longer than we should have. And I know people who just like stop there and then go, right, I'm off. But there's been people there since 11 o'clock in the morning. You know, and you know, we wanted to do that for them. You know what I mean? Because without them, we're nothing. And you know, it's like if I didn't want to be in this band, or if I didn't want to sign autographs, or if I didn't want to, you know, live my life in a fishbowl, I'd just get up from here right now and take my case out of the van. I'd go to the airport and I'd go to Brazil, and nobody could stop me because I've got the money in the bank to do that. But I don't, because I want to do it and I want to be here. And that's it. I love it. Before the album came out, they were writing about what goes on the road and all, you know, there's trouble at gigs, and you know, I've had a black eye and stuff like that, and there's been, you know, a couple of hotels been trashed or whatever. And I was a bit like, yeah, but what about the music? But now the album's been reviewed and they've actually gone in and reviewed the record for what it is, then I'm happy now, you know, because now everyone knows it's a great record. Simple. The music and the melodies, I can write them like, I mean, like every day of my life I can write, but the words are the ones, it's the part of the song where I've got to, you know, if somebody said to me, oh, you know, we need another song for such and such a release or whatever by tomorrow, I can go and write a tune with a melody, but the lyrics are something I've just got to wait for. I just wait and sit in my little flat on my own with, you know, whatever it is that I'm doing at the time, and just sit there and wait. The lyrics just come. I can't force myself to write lyrics, but the music's easy. The music's a doddle. When I go back to Manchester and stuff, it's like, I mean, I've got nothing to say to anybody about the band or about me. I'm not wanting to go around talking about myself or anything like that. So if I go out and I'm just sat down, someone will come and say, all right, how are you doing? I'll say, sound, how are you? And they'll say, great. And then that'll be it. And then it'll be, I've seen him arrogant, whatever, you know what I mean? He's not even speaking to us, but it's like, I've got nothing to say, you know. You know, I don't want to go back home to where I used to live and tell people that I've been to America and I've met, you know, this one, I've met that one, I've been there, you know, and I've seen this and I've done that, because I've met people like that, and I find it boring for people to talk about themselves all the time. I mean, I've got nothing to say to anyone except hello, how are you doing? I've got time for people and little things outside the band. I've got more time for people now, as a matter of fact, but, you know, people don't seem to understand that, you know, they think that when they see you on the TV or they read about you in the press that you're some superhuman being who goes like that, sails through life, and they don't understand that you have good days and bad days, you know what I mean? I get down, you know. I mean, I've cried about some of the things that have happened to me, but nobody's been there, and you know, and I'm not one for going on and saying, you know, I'm a tortured artist, because I'm not. I mean, most of the time I'm a pretty sort of happy-go-lucky guy, but, you know, I do have good days and bad days, you know, and some people just couldn't, or just still can't understand that. They think you're just some superhuman being who's got money and who's a bit glamorous, so you've got to be that person that you see on the TV all the time, and in reality you're not. You know, I'm just the same guy I was, you know, 4 years ago before all this started. Lost a lot of friends, split up with my girlfriend. I was going out with this girl for about 6 years, like living with her and all that. I don't think I'll ever get over it, you know what I mean? And a lot of friends that I had sort of, I don't know, thought that it was always become a pop star, so he's off travelling the world doing whatever and he doesn't need us anymore. But it ain't that way, you know what I mean? For the future. It's not up to us, you know what I mean? All we can do is write and record. And if the people buy the records, then we'll be part of 1995's pop history. Hopefully we'll still be going in the year 2000, you know what I mean? But as for 1994, oh, this is our year, without a shadow of a doubt. No one can touch us this year, you know, because we're on a roll. People have got to realise is like there's 14-year-old kids, right, who are into this band, who, when the Stone Roses done Spike Island, were 9. So they've never known anything like that. All they've known is 2 Unlimited and The Prodigy. Right? And then there's like 20-year-old people who were 15 at Spike Island who've now grown up. And they remember that. And they can see, I think they can see something in us that they got from Spike Island. But the important thing is that there's a lot of 14-year-old kids who were 9 when Spike Island was happening and they couldn't get in, or they weren't even interested in music, and we will be the first band that they get into. And then if we can turn them on to the Beatles and the Stones and the Stone Roses and all the rest of it, then, you know, music goes on, doesn't it? You know, if they go out and buy a few Beatles albums, pick up a guitar and then start a band and influence the next generation of 9-year-olds, then rock and roll won't die.